Good morning. Hey, welcome to my 52-week challenge. I'm LaRonda Greats, and I have decided as I recommit myself to creating content on my YouTube channel, and each week, each Tuesday, I'm committed. This is the first Tuesday in January, and I just celebrated my birthday, so the two don't really have anything to do with each other except for the fact that we just started a new year, and me being born this close to the new year, I was born on the 4th, always puts me in a mindset of getting back on my habits and promises that I made to myself. So here is week one. My promise to myself is that every Tuesday I will post a new video of myself speaking about and walking through this journey called life. Sharing with you the things that impact my life as a Black woman over 50, now over 60, who is committed to learning as much as I can about being this age, and then sharing with you topics that come to mind. So I have some notes. I'm gonna work off my notes. So starting with why I just said that, why I want to do this. Since I haven't been working full time, I've kind of gotten really loose with my life schedule. I go to the gym, I took up swimming, and I do those things, but something to stimulate my brain and do the thing that I was trained to do. I was an educator, worked at schools for over 25 years. And so this is my way to kind of teach at my own pace. So I've got a lot to offer, and so here it goes. I'm going to use YouTube, Instagram. I'm learning TikTok, so I post videos there live when I want to go live, when I want to speak live, because I haven't figured out how to do that here on YouTube quite yet. So I will walk you through my process of creating my channel in 2026, and then, so this is the beginning. We'll see what happens in January of next year, where I'll go back and hold myself accountable and look and be like, girl, how did you do? Right? Who am I targeting? My target audience, Black women over 50. What y'all doing? Doing anything new with your life? Have you made any significant changes to your life that will improve your life for you? Not anything anybody told you had to do, because guess what? At this age, we can take control and take ownership of our own destinies and where we're going. Okay? So there are a lot of messages out here directed toward younger people, mentoring younger people. I follow Steve Harvey. I like to wake up in the morning and get his little 10, 15 minutes of praising God and encouragement. Oftentimes, Steve's talking to younger people. He doesn't realize that he's got this grandma out here who is excited to hear what he has to say, because my life was, the phases of my life went a little differently. So I wasn't in my 30s and 40s when I got this call and this confidence to speak my truth, to live my truth. It took me a little longer. So, I just I wrote and talked about a little bit more about myself. And what I hope to do is what I've learned over the past 2-3 years when I started looking at creating a YouTube channel. I've got to have kind of this beginning that introduces myself so that you know who I am, tells you a little bit about me, and then I'll get to my topic. So I am on the cusp of being a baby boomer, right? As the booming was going out of business, I was born. So I had a little bit of that, and then I've got a little bit of whatever the next generation is after that, right? My first hip hop song, the lyrics I still know to this day. It hooked me because it said, "Don't push me, because I'm close to the edge, and I'm trying not to lose my head." It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes you wonder how you keep from going under. They hooked me with that, and I've been following hip hop ever since. I probably stopped, actually. My hip hop love and real commitment ended when Tupac was murdered. So that was 30 years ago. I can't believe it. It was, 96? And that just, when that violent part of it came into play, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I moved on to something else. So I'm offering content that I wish that I had, and it's going to be centered. If you follow me, you want to learn some different things. You want to learn how an eclectic boomer thinks and how I rode through this world. I've got some stories for you. Oh boy, have I got some stories for you. I read a lot, so I'll be sharing some books. What I hope to do is each month I will share a book that really touched me, that moved me, that really opened my eyes to something new and inspired me. And the month of January, the book that I cannot stop thinking about is called Happy Land. I will make a totally separate video about Happy Land because, man, I've got friends out here writing books. I had a friend, Dr. Trina Moore Southall, who just released her book, Fine is Not the Answer. Fine is not the answer. Go, Dr. Trina. It's a good read. It's about her life and what she discovered as she walked through her grief journey with losing her parents, etc., etc. So another 2 thumbs up. Other goal, do no harm. My goal is to offer insight. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can write it in the comments. If you're mean and nasty, I will delete you because, real talk, this is my space. If you've seen other videos about me, I don't care nothing about what you think about me. I heard years ago it said, what other people think about me is none of my business. So it took me a long time to get to that place in my life. But we're here now. We're here now. What you think about me, you can give a thumbs up. You can give a thumbs down. That's fine. That's your prerogative. And you can also not follow me. But if you like what I'm talking about, join me. It's a year, man. Let's go. Here we go. This is going to serve as a legacy for my kids and my family. They will get to learn more about me. We are all spread out all over this country. So this will be a way for them, if they're interested. Some of them ain't interested either. Some of them are not interested either, and that's okay. So, what else? Because I'm going to make this video I'm making at, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm an early riser. I am currently in Virginia Beach on the last day of my birthday celebration. Every year around, I try to do something for my birthday. And so this is what I did. In the beach, those ocean waves, and my room is on the beach, so I can sleep with my window, my patio door open, and hear those waves crashing, and then wake up early enough to watch the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean. Nothing better. Nothing better. All right, let's get to the topic. today's topic has to do with a session that I sat through last night with an entrepreneur who I've known since they were starting their entrepreneurial journey, teaching their subject matter. I'm not going to say the topic that way. I'm not trying to out anybody one way or the other, right? But I sat through it, and this person has gone from bankruptcy. Their life was bankrupt. They lost their housing, et cetera, couch surfing. You know, homelessness is different for a lot of people. Some people say I'm homeless. I remember when I left my first school job, I had worked at a school for 16 years, and I decided I wanted to see if my 16 years of experience would translate into a career. I mean, you know, at another school. So when I left, I had been working at a boarding school. I gave up my housing, I gave up my job, and I was homeless. I put my worldly possessions in a 10 by 10 storage unit, and I hit the road. I was headed down I-95, and I have a friend who lives in Winston-Salem, and she had said, girl, you can come stay here, you know, and so I was headed that way, and got waylaid by another friend who was living in Baltimore at the time, in the Baltimore DMV area, and stopped there on my way to Winston-Salem to celebrate that friend's birthday in July, and ended up, because she was going to work every day, applying for jobs down there, and ended up finding a job and working in Baltimore for 1 year, whatever. So this woman who her entrepreneur's journey started, I met her back then probably, so that's about, maybe I met her well over 10 years ago, for sure, over 10 years ago. And now she's a multimillionaire. So she was a teacher, she found her niche, she was homeless, lost everything. She lost her job, she lost everything. And then she found the thing, and she's so good at it that she has now gone from being that hustler, just, you know, telling people about what she was teaching, to now she's a multimillionaire. That's an inspiration to me. She's a black woman that looks like me. She's younger than I am. And but I'm inspired by her. And what our session last night, though, taught me is that this woman is amazing. And she started, like when you start as a small business owner, for example, you start as a small business owner and then you grow. Like you start as a mom and pop, you've got a bodega, right? You've got a neighborhood grocery store. But then you turn into Kroger, okay? You were the one who thought up this grocery store idea. But when you become Kroger, you cannot still be, you can't go visit the people in the neighborhood every day. You don't get to see them like you used to. You long for that, you miss that, and you're building your business, right? So I got to see in real time, I've got to see over the years, this woman's trajectory, and to see, I see her heart. I know what she wants to do. She still wants to be that neighborhood mom and pop. I want to help all the people in the neighborhood. Yes, and the way you can do that is by not, Steve Harvey said his father used to tell him one of the best things that he could do for poor people is to not become one of them. You can agree with that or not agree with that. You can have your capital hate for capitalism or whatever, but I am a living testimony that being poor sucks. Not having enough money to pay your rent sucks. It's just not knowing where your next meal is coming from sucks. And if you have children and you've got to look in their faces and say, no, we can't buy, or whatever. I had a pastor who taught us one time, one time he was preaching and he said, you parents are something else because you get mad at the kids when they go in the refrigerator and they eat the food because you say that was for dinner. Like, and that really is just an indicator that you don't have enough money. Like, you don't have enough money to buy enough food for the kids to have snacks and such and through, right? And you can say, well, the kids are greedy and they eat. They growing. They are growing and they're hungry. And when they're hungry, they should be able to eat, and we should have food in our refrigerators. End of that story. All right, so yeah, I think that's pretty much the crux of my message. I'm looking at my notes. My career in education. I was saying, like, another analogy for this entrepreneur who is now a multimillionaire trying to still be down here with us little people. She wants to teach us, and I love her heart for that. And she needs to maybe recruit or train someone else to train us, because we need you to be up in there $1 million, whatever millionaires do. And she's all of the billionaires and millionaires can't be are not bad, right? And they all can't be the ones that are running this show. We need good-hearted people like this woman up in the C-suites or whatever kind of suites, or on private jets, or in places where, as the song in Hamilton says, we need you in the room where it happens. And personally, I too, the reason I keep going, the reason I keep trying to put myself out here, I read another book called The World is Waiting for You by Edwina Finley Dickerson. The world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for me. And I believe that. And since I believe it, this is my way of bringing myself to the world. Hey, world, how y'all doing? We good? So I was saying that another example that I used or I thought about, and I was thinking about encouraging my friend, mentor, business mentor, was that when I started working in schools, I was an intern. Green, I knew nothing. I didn't know anything about private schools, et cetera, et cetera. Then I was hired to be a department chair. And then I learned how I was in a classroom, and then I became an administrator. So when you're a department chair, you're kind of like a junior administrator. You don't go to all the meetings, you go to the curriculum committee meeting, basically. But then as my career grew, I joined the senior administrative team. Now, at the senior administrative level, I didn't have the time in my daily schedule to do the things that I was doing when I was an intern. When I was an intern, I was hanging out with kids all on a regular. I was fixing computers, because computer science is my jam. That's what I was hired to do. So I was an intern in the computer lab. So that's what I did. I stayed in that lab. I fixed them computers. I installed software, etc. And then I went to lunch, and then I went home. That's what I did. As I climbed the ladder, when I was on the curriculum committee, I'm thinking about curriculum. What should we teach these kids? Then, as I became a senior administrator, focused on diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging and community building. Now, how do I do that across an entire school community? And that was my full-time job. And I didn't really have time to do a lot of the other things. And that one of the things that I learned over the course of my career is that some educators want to stay in the classroom because they love being with the students. They want to teach their class. That's all they want to do. And there is no problem with that, because we need those teachers, super valuable. I, on the other hand, am a strategist. I'm a problem solver. I like to, hey, what happened? My screen went black. I'm a problem solver. I like to figure out how to help make communities better. And so, sitting in a classroom teaching women's studies or African American history or computer science was not enough for me personally. I wanted to be in the room where it was happening, where the decisions were being made. So, when I got to the last job that I worked in a school, I had a board committee, I was working with board members, I was working with parents, I was working with adults. And I enjoyed that tremendously. So that's the way my brain is wired. Other people, they love the classroom. And like I said, to each his own. And if I could do, as someone asked one time, what is one thing that we wish that we could give to the world, to all the people? I wish that I could give everyone the opportunity to do what they love, to discover what you love and be able to do that thing. Because so many people are not doing what they love, they're doing what pays the bills, etc. So that's where we are. Okay. What a unique way of looking at life. I wrote all this stuff this morning. For me, I'm happier in a position of strategic planning and school building. There are different stressors at that level too, having to prove as you get up different levels, some say, new levels, new devils, right? As I was climbing up and getting into those rooms where it was happening, I was often the first. I was the only, whether it's Black woman, sometimes woman, sometimes woman of my age, whatever. And I had to prove myself. I had to prove that I was worthy of being in these rooms, and that can take a toll as well. And people are pulling at you everybody has an idea of what they think I should be doing. That's the biggest challenge of working in the DEI space. Everybody thinks from the students, everybody that I would bump into knew what I was supposed to be doing, which is fine if we can collaborate, because I too think I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I have someone that's over me who is paying me a salary who thinks they know what I should be doing, and not understanding that I'm also being pulled in many directions. No excuses, just facts. My truth. Okay? So, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about how I got here, how I got over. My soul looks back and wonders how I got over. Music is the center of my life. I got a song for every situation. If I break out in a song, skirt, skirt, I'm going to try not to hit no notes, because really, the notes hit back. So if you are interested in this type of content, you want to follow your girl, please. LaRonda is going to be here every Tuesday. I'm going to post a new video. I've got so many things that are that I've learned. I've got so many things that I have to share and that I want to share. And so come back next Tuesday, put a comment, like the video, and encourage me, because I'm doing something new and brave that I've never done before. I see a lot of people doing it. I see a lot of young people doing it. And I'm just doing it because I want to. That's all. I just, telling my story, telling my truth, speaking my truth. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. See you next week. Bye.